The flickering image on the dusty screen swims into focus. A grainy newsreel shows a desolate landscape, ravaged by something unseen. The rhythmic hum of the time machine thrums beneath your feet, a constant reminder of the one-way ticket you hold. A thrill of excitement shoots through you, the intoxicating promise of adventure. But a shadow of doubt creeps in. Imagine stepping into a world not built for tourists. A world where every breath could be your last. This isn't a trip to the Renaissance Fair. This is time travel, unfiltered. People have always been interested in time travel because it gives them the chance to see past events, learn about lost civilizations, or even meet species that have been dead for a long time. The Jurassic Period is one of the most interesting times in history, mostly because of how it is portrayed in popular culture, especially in the Jurassic Park movies. But besides the thrill of seeing dinosaurs, the Jurassic Period is full of problems and risks that make it possibly one of the worst times to visit. This in-depth look will consider the many reasons why the Jurassic Period, despite its charm, would be a very unpleasant and dangerous place for time travelers to visit. First and foremost, the environment during the Jurassic Period, which lasted from about 201 million years ago to 145 million years ago, was very different from what it is today. There were no polar ice caps, so the temperature was usually warmer. This made the seas higher and created large, small freshwater seas. There was more carbon dioxide in the air than usual, which could make it uncomfortable and hard to breathe for people who are used to breathing air with normal amounts of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Modern people would not be able to live in this very hot and humid climate because it is too hot and humid. In addition, the lack of current technology to respond to these conditions would make the risks of being in such an environment even greater. Also, the plants that lived during the Jurassic Period were very different. Most of the plants were gymnosperms, like conifers, cycads, and ginkgos. Flowering plants didn't exist until much later. Ferns and horsetails would have grown in thick around the trees. The thick greenery not only made the ground difficult to move through, but it also held many unknown allergies and toxins. The simple act of looking for food could kill you, because you might come across plants that are new and could be dangerous. Also, because they wouldn't be able to recognize any crops. Current humans would not be able to farm, which would take away one of their main sources of food. In addition, the idea of disease is another very serious threat. There were a lot of germs living in the Jurassic environment. Many of them would be completely unknown to humans and could be very harmful to their immune systems. People today have grown with some pathogens and are now immune to them, but there would have been germs and viruses in the Jurassic Period that we are not immune to. There is a big worry that these old germs could cause a disease that will kill you. If you didn't have modern treatment, even a small illness could kill you. When it comes to how people survived in the Jurassic Period, many of the skills and tools we use today would not have been useful. The wetness and lack of dry wood would make it harder to start a fire, which is an important survival skill. The strange resources and the possibility of big dangerous animals would make building a shelter harder. Without modern tools, it would be very hard to find your way through the thick and often impassable woods. The huge, heavily protected dinosaurs might be too strong for even simple tools and guns to hurt. There would have been no roads, houses, or other known sites during the Jurassic Period because there was no infrastructure that could support humans. The person traveling through time would have to be able to build their own homes, find food, and protect themselves from many unknown dangers. These levels of being alone and dependent on oneself are way too much for most modern people to handle. In terms of geology, the Jurassic Period was also a time of a lot of seismic action. The supercontinent Pangaea was breaking up, which made the Atlantic Ocean and new mountain ranges and coasts. Earthquakes, volcanic outbursts, and the risks that come with them, like tsunamis and floods, would be made worse by this natural activity. The already tough environment would be even more uncertain and dangerous, because the ground is unsteady and there are frequent natural changes. If you're feeling a little time travel wobbly after this roller coaster ride through history's worst moments, don't worry. We've got plenty more explorations planned, venturing into the fascinating and hopefully survivable corners of the past. Hit that subscribe button and smash the notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. And who knows, maybe we'll even discover a period so pleasant, it'll make flossing seem delightful.